The largest asset managers in the world are buying more SoundHound AI stock. We saw Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street all buy more of the stock. We also saw some active large managers buy more of this stock. So really the buying from institutions over the past quarter is extremely encouraging for SoundHound AI. And I could see broader adoption of SoundHound AI continuing and seeing that act as a catalyst for the stock. So what I'll do in this video is I'll go over the recent changes in ownership data. I'll go over the recent changes in funds that are actually short the stock. We had Citadel, who is short, actually sell down their short position over the past quarter. I'll go over that. We'll go over some new partnerships, this new deal for SoundHound AI, and then I'll cover the financials. And at the end of the video, I will give you a price prediction for this stock. So let's talk about it here. So Vanguard, to be exact, increased exposure by about 18% over the past quarter. We saw BlackRock increase exposure by about 18% as well over the past quarter. We also saw State Street increase exposure by 44%. Geo Capital Management, the fifth largest shareholder, another passive indexer here, increased exposure. And then for the active names, we saw Truist Financial actually buy the stock for the first time. They came in for about 1.4 million shares, makes them, I think, the 12th largest holder here. And then in the top 15 here, still we have Fidelity, which came in and bought the stock for the first time. They bought 1,200 shares. And then some other interesting names here is we saw the Russell 2000 increase exposure to the stock. We saw a Vanguard ETF, not just the Vanguard parent, actually an ETF come in and increase exposure by 23%. We also saw a new Vanguard fund, a technology index fund, increase exposure by 3.1 million shares. So they bought in. So this is interesting to see that Vanguard is buying, but also some of their other funds are buying the stock as well. So this is really awesome to see. It's amazing to see that investors are extremely bullish on the stock. Institutional investors are extremely bullish on this stock. So active and passives both buying more shares. And then in terms of what funds are selling down their short positions, we saw Susquehanna here. They actually increased their short positions by about 117%. So they more than doubled their shorts. And they are the largest fund that is short. But it's also worth noting that Susquehanna here is within the top 20 shareholders. So they own about 1 million shares worth of calls. So they actually have 1 million shares worth of calls, and they also have about 800,000 shares sold short. So actually they're net bullish. Funny enough, the largest short seller for the stock is actually net bullish. They're really just both short and long to kind of play the spread and try to play volatility. That's really what that is. And then Cutler Group, they are short. They increased their shorts by 51%. And then we saw Citadel, who actually does own some of the stock as well. They cut their short position by 37% over the past quarter. So that's good to see. A top 3 short seller is covering their short position. That's awesome to see. And then with that being said, though, let's take a look at some of the fundamentals for this company. So I want to talk about the opportunity this company has. So from a fundamental standpoint, if you don't know anything about SoundHound AI, they basically do restaurant voice services, really just voice AI in general. Don't want to limit it to only restaurants. They do cars as well. But basically, it's just voice AI. So you go into a restaurant drive-through, and rather than having a person talking to you, you could have SoundHound AI's artificial intelligence system talking back and forth. They're actually the #1 voted and ranked voice AI system. They won a bunch of awards, and they're really well renowned within that space. And the voice AI space is a great one to be in, and that's because the voice AI ordering in the restaurant space alone could be a $1 billion opportunity with 1 million potential customers. Just think of how useful this could be. Just think of if you didn't have to pay someone, 15, 20 bucks an hour now even to, take a drive-through order. You could just replace it with software. Think about how much that would save over a year. This is a major opportunity. And SoundHound AI announced some big restaurant deals recently, and a deal in the space of more than doubling units under contracts. under contract. The restaurant opportunity is projected at more than 1 billion, with domestic restaurants sitting at 1 million customers. So the voice AI company had previously disclosed a deal with the likes of White Castle, Jersey Mike's, Krispy Kreme, Square, Toast, tons of systems. And then SoundHound AI announced an additional push into voice AI for restaurants with the recent deal for SYNQ 5 million. The company now boasts over 10,000 restaurant locations signed with a pipeline of 100,000 locations. The big question is the revenue impact, with SoundHound AI projecting 25 million in annual ARR with 4,500 locations signed. This deal is more than doubling the locations. The company only paid 25 million as well, suggesting the revenue potential is probably far below the run rate from SoundHound AI with a similar amount of locations signed to deals. The deal though is 80% in stock and only 20% in cash. So that means that SoundHound AI would only pay $8 million, or excuse me, $5 million in cash, and the rest is going to be in stock. What does that tell me? That tells me that this company that's being acquired by SoundHound AI is very bullish on SoundHound AI stock, which to me makes a lot of sense. I've been talking about the stock for a while now. I'm very bullish on this stock. So I really do like the long term fundamentals of this company. We're in the right spot. We kind of found our niche, if you will, within the AI space, within voice AI, and it's really worked very well for this company. And then with that being said, let's take a look at the financials for SoundHound AI. So first off, full disclosure, this company does not make money. They are EPS negative. They're not making money every single quarter. With that being said, anytime you have a company that isn't making money, you always want to see that they have adequate revenue growth. You want to see that they're growing their revenue. You want to see that they're growing into a profitable company. And SoundHound AI is definitely showing that. So they had revenue growth over the past year of 42%, which is a solid number. Definitely nothing to sneeze at there. And then in terms of profitability, so this is kind of the second thing you should be looking at for a company that isn't making money. So we want to see a gross profit margin that's positive for a company that isn't making money. Gross profit margin just being revenue minus cost of goods sold tells you what a company makes for what it sells. So SoundHound AI actually has a 73% gross profit margin. So that tells you that they make 73% on everything that they sell. So that really tells me that what they're doing is a profitable business. They have a profitable business. They're making money when they sell something. The issue is the other costs associated with running the business. But what this tells me that as long as they're able to grow their revenue, as long as they're able to grow their business, they will eventually be profitable because they're making money for everything that they sell. So that is awesome to see. Growth moving in the right direction, and we have profitability metrics implying that this company does have the ability to make money without any major changes to the underlying business. It's really just a volume game at this point. But I do want to caveat this with the balance sheet not looking the best, although it doesn't look horrible. So we have 39 cents in cash per share, just for those that don't know, and we have about $96 million in cash. And we have $89 million in debt. So that means that we have actually $6 million more cash than debt. Good to see more cash than debt. The only issue is we have a net operating cash flow for the past 12 months of minus $74 million, meaning that it takes roughly $80 million a year to run this business. And given that we only have $96 million in cash, that I kind of can tell you that you have about a year's worth of cash to run this business, if you will, just rough numbers. So this tells me that the company could, be issuing new shares, or maybe they issue new debt, whatever it may be. That this company is going to have to figure something out for their balance sheet. They're going to have to figure out a way to acquire new capital. That could be through the equity market, through issuing new shares. That could be through the debt market. Issuing new debt. We just saw interest rates come down a ton in the past, 20 days or so. So hopefully that trend continues. That will definitely benefit a company like SoundHound AI, to have access to those lower financing costs. So I think SoundHound SoundHound AI is in a pretty good spot, but their balance sheet definitely needs to turn around within the next year or so. So with that being said, we talked about the fundamentals, we talked about the financials. I love this stock from a fundamental and financial standpoint. The question is, where is it going in the short term? What I'll do right now is I'm just going to give a price prediction based on the technicals in the short term. Not going to give a long term price prediction. Long term, I think this stock could 10x, 15x, maybe more, but I'll leave my expectations there. So let's talk about the technicals here. So we came down to support at around $1.80 last week, and we held that level and moved higher. We actually started to outperform the market once again in late November. I believe this outperformance continues, but I think we get a move down to this support level at $1.90, which coincides roughly with the 50-day moving average. So I think we'll probably see a move down to this level, and then we'll see a larger move higher over the coming weeks for this stock. So very bullish on SoundHound AI. From a technical standpoint, as I said, though, over the next couple of days, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw somewhat of a pullback. If you're a long-term investor, it's pretty much irrelevant to you. But from my perspective, just wanted to give this out in case those are trading this name. There are those that are trading this name. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I put in a ton of work for these videos. In fact, just to even get SoundHound AI's shareholder list listed on this site on Fintel, which is really the most widely respected, kind of 13F data aggregator for retail investors. I actually had to email this company, and I was emailing back and forth with them for honestly weeks to get this data put up, to get this data public. So if you appreciate those efforts, if you're bullish on SoundHound AI, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a bunch, truly. Kind of how I envision my channel playing out over the coming months to years is I really see SoundHound AI playing a huge part in that. This is one of my favorite stocks in the market. So if you're bullish SoundHound AI, leave a like and subscribe for future content I'll be posting about the stock. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you here next time.